there was a lot of speculation on social media, people saying because there was a whole scandal of money, entire hotels that Gogo Manzini was involved in and whatnot. So people were saying maybe he's not dead, maybe he faked his death. And so I think we can rest those claims now. That felt like that on social media. I believe I found what looks like the proceeding of his funeral. So you can see right here this particular element. So you might say, but how do you know this is it? If you actually go back to the Instagram page, you will remember those particular items, the picture, the flowers, and the stone. So you see those green and yellow thingy. So if you go to this particular picture that I'm showing here, you'll see some of those flowers. There was just an addition of this one, and also birds there and that stone. And so another thing a person might also say is, but how do you know this was a funeral thingy? It's because if you actually go back to that post or to the Instagram page, it did state that the funeral was on the 15th of thingy and so forth. You can see the date, that would be today, right? And so with that being said, if you actually go here, there was something else. There was this red carpet thingy. It doesn't show much. It just shows this red carpet and this. Now, when I saw this, I thought I recognized this, but I was just not sure where I had seen it. So I had to go back online to look. But if you've seen like a lot of photography thingy and whatnot, events and all those kind of things, and so sometimes you can mix up where you've seen something. And so when I saw that truck in the back there, I was like, I think I've seen that thingy. And I did immediately remember where I had seen it. This company, that thingy, they were somewhat, I think they were involved in the comrades. So it's very recent. So it's something I saw very recently. That's where I must have seen it from. And you can see, but then I found the website. Then I was like, okay, this is a funeral thingy cover. And they had this nota thingy. And there it was, right there. The comrades, right? And so that's why right there, June 16, they had some posts concerning the marathons and the whatnots and stuff. So that's what I must have seen them thingy. And actually, I think if you actually go on their website here on events, you can see they do have a lot of events that they do. And so that's what I must have seen them in. That's what I must have seen them in. I must have seen that. So the moment I saw that picture and that there, but I couldn't remember thingy. Couldn't remember the name exactly. So that truck was what gave me the hint for thingy. And yes, it is this company. You can see the thingy, they have a funeral thingy there as well and all. And so their services go to catering, funerals, and the whole nine jazz there and all that kind of jazz. So that is their thing. They do events and funeral planning as well. And on social media, their social media presence actually just shows that they do funeral stuff and also they do events, funeral events. Of course, they haven't posted this if they have done it because it's today. They'll maybe want to edit their pictures out and whatnot. Now, this truck that I'm talking about, or the truck that I'm pointing at, I didn't see it in the pictures here, but I did find a clip, right? I found a clip that actually shows it. So if you come down here, you'll see this is them there. That's them doing their funeral, their funerals and stuff. You can see that red thingy that I was talking about. If you go back on that thingy, on the previous picture that I spoke, they have that red splash thingy. But all the way towards the ending, where the cars are standing here, you'll see right there. There is that truck. There is that truck right there. And so if you go back to those pictures, you go back there, you can see that truck has this huge thingy on the side and then the Noto thingy on the side. If you go back to the picture there, you can see it right there. It is this funeral thingy. And so with that being said, maybe you haven't seen any other thing out there that puts those rumors and thingy at rest. So everybody that are saying it's the funeral is fake or the death is fake, that dismisses it right there. You can see the organization that's thingy. The only reason I actually even thought of thingy is because I had seen them somewhere, and it's in the comrades pictures and whatnot. I must have seen the logo or something, so it made me look a little bit. Then I was able to find that. So those claims can rest. You can see right there. At the end of the day, we all go to the grave. The mean talk on social media, or there was something that we were talking about in our discipleship class concerning mortality, and we were talking about how the devil's agenda is to give people this idea of a false mortality. And that's kind of like how we spoke about it. And we were speaking about this false mortality in the sense of people that live this life completely in disregard of the fact that they live in this body. They forget this body goes so easily. This body, it's so easy. Death, it's a false mortality. The devil gives us that. And in pride, in how we present ourselves and all those kind of things, we tend to forget those things. The world has a way of making us forget those things. You start to deal with everyday life as if you have forever. You start to deal with everyday life as if, I can sacrifice everything in order to get this one thing. And then you forget, no, this is not how this works. You can do all of that, but the mortality scale of this flesh dictates that one day we all submit ourselves. We have all submitted our CVs over to the graveyard. Nobody escapes that one. Everybody goes there. And so I find with a lot of endeavors, if you study the book of Ecclesiastes, he says, he speaks about this language of vanity of vanities. And he's not discouraging life pursuits or anything like that. What he's doing when he's speaking about vanities of vanities is that he's trying to remind us there is mortality. Don't think you are invincible. Don't think you are beyond death. With different beliefs, different practices, you tend to see this a little bit more here, a little bit over there, where people have this false idea of mortality. If I know that I have such a little time, I'm not going to spend all that time trying to have everybody scared of me. It doesn't make any sense because I'm aware my life scale is this thinking. I'm trying to live as effective, as impactful as possible. People try to talk about, you'll see it mostly with people who are in their old age speaking about legacy when they've lived their entire life in chaos. I spoke about this when we were speaking about the McG whole thing. Right now, he's reckless and he speaks about everything anyhow. But at the end of the day, when a time comes for it, you'll start to hear people now talking about what is your legacy? What is your legacy? And then people forget everything that they were doing throughout their entire life. A person lived a life of full-on chaos, and then they want to speak about legacy at the end of it. We must remember, we mustn't allow And this life deceives us into a false state of mortality. If you fall into that space, that's where you see people who feel like they become invincible. They feel like they are untouchable. They are living in a false sense of mortality. The devil is very good at deceiving people at that. Historic Reality Show, we do daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes down today, they'll be down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out over there.